Peace. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Now let me try to share this with the people. Okay. Before this, good man. Man, it's all right. I think I'm about to start doing it like this. The only thing is that sometimes YouTube just messes up for me. So we're gonna get right into proceedings this evening, right? Um, Again, it will not be before you long because I got to do just like you got some stuff to do. I just want to see how long is this chapter so I can break it down as simply as possible. But I hope your yesterday was great. Your today will be great. And your tomorrow will be greater. So 96. All right, 37 pages. All right, so we're just going to read a couple and get it cracking, right? Oh, today in honor of Black History, which is made daily all over the world. Um, you know what? We're just going to keep it simple. We're going to honor Michelle Alexander, who wrote this book, The New Jim Crow. And if you don't know what that is, it's happening right under your eyes. It's been happening. Remember when the crack epidemic hit the communities, like in 1980, the government declared a war on drugs where there was no major narcotics in the street. And then they started messing around in Nicaragua and delivered the drugs to the black community, starting with LA, but basically, you know what I mean, expanding all over the country. And they locked specifically black and Latino brothers and sisters up for using and selling it. This opioid crisis, it's a demographic, primarily their people, and they're not getting locked up for it. They even got sites where they could go in the public and use like the methadone or the oxycontin or whatever it is. And it's like, wow, like at what point do the humanity in you arise, you know what I mean, and bring out the equality, man. So I ain't gonna get into that too much, too deep, but we're gonna get the reading written now. Also, clothes, toys, appliances, man, hit me up, man. You already know, hit me up. If you need an oil change, you know where I'm gonna be, 25% off. Today I'm gonna be there all the way to the end of the day. So come through, you know what I mean? At least call me or text me. Actually, you ain't even gotta call or text me if I know you. If I don't know you, but you just happen to be, a friend or associate of mine, you're gonna have to ask for me when you get there, or you won't get the discount. Let's get into the lockdown. Shoot, I need to put this is getting in my way. All right, hold on one second. Because I don't want to be interrupted. Not right now. I got stuff to do. I know it's gonna look crazy, but I don't care. I just want it out my temporarily. We may think we know the we may think we know how the criminal justice system works. Television is overloaded with fictional dramas about police, crime, and prosecutors. Shows such as Law and Order. These fictional dramas, like the evening news, tend to focus on individual stories of crime, victimization, and punishment, and the stories are typically told from the point of view of law enforcement. Before I continue, did y'all peep how they got the R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, they on Jesse Smollett? But remember, in reference to Jesse Smollett, there was a Olympian who was like destroying stuff in Brazil, made up a lie and stuff like that. He ain't go to jail. Um, Woody Allen, Charlie Sheen, Elvis Presley, what's the other guy named Hugh Hefner. All these men have been messing with women or gave them diseases or something, and ain't none of them went to jail. Harvey Weinstein, he still ain't even been into the. He ain't even. I don't even think he been arraigned. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I don't watch TV, man, because it's not enlightening to me. I'm sorry. It's nothing that's interesting on TV for me at all. Nothing is more interesting than building me a legacy and protecting me and mine. So, but do y'all peep how the focus is always on the black male? Let's keep the black male stigma going on. Let's make sure we focus all the negative on the black male. But you have I think it was a Coast Guard who had a cache of weapons talking about how he was about to come to DC and do stuff. Yeah, see that the shooter out. They have all kind of stuff that say how there was shots being coming from other angles or coming from the helicopter or different stuff. You ever notice how all of that stuff hurry up and go away? But they want you to sit here and focus on R. Kelly, but they knew when R. Kelly was messing with Aaliyah 20 something years ago, man, that was the time to get at it. I'm not saying that he doesn't need punishment. What I'm saying is stop focusing on us like we the predator. The super predator, man, is these people that y'all not putting the focus and attention on. Focus on them, man. Let up off of the black man and woman, man, and let us breathe, man. Y'all need us. We created entire civilizations. We the reason there is civilization, period, all over the world. So with that being said, and it's not just black people, because I know people from other ethnicities that understand and empathize with us. I know that a lot of them still reap the benefits of their ancestors, but at the end of the day, I see the humanity of a lot of other people more today than I personally have seen before. I mean, it's still not as good as it needs to be. You know what I mean? So with that, I'm just saying, man, treat people the way you want to be treated, regardless to whatever your color is, whatever your religion is, whatever your sexuality is. Man, treat people with the respect that you would want to be treated with. That's all I'm saying. A charismatic police officer, investigator, or prosecutor struggles with his own demons while heroically trying to solve a horrible crime. This is on TV. This is how they make it seem. But don't forget that these people are human beings. They come to their job with the problems that they have at home or outside of the workplace, and they bring it to the workplace and they take it out on the people that they're arresting. Yes, guards on a night shift in prison and in jail, even the holding center, they are hurting people. They are physically taking their pain out on whatever's going on with them in the world and bringing it to their place of work. Y'all ain't never, they got all of this money to put cameras all over the city, but you ain't put cameras all over the prisons and the jails so we can see exactly what's going on at any point in time. He ultimately achieves a personal and moral victory, finding the bad guy and throwing him in jail. That is the made-for-TV version of the criminal justice system. It perpetuates the myth that the primary function of the system is to keep our streets safe and our homes secure by rooting out dangerous criminals and punishing them. These television shows, especially those that romanticize drug law enforcement and the modern day equivalent of the old movies portraying happy slaves, the fictional gloss placed on a brutal system of racialized oppression and control, those who have been swept within the criminal justice system know that the way the system actually works bears little resemblance to what happens on television or in movies. Full-blown trials of guilt or innocence rarely occur. Many people never even meet with an attorney. Witnesses are routinely paid and coerced by the government. They are. The police that arrested me when I was 17 paid the man across the street from me money. Evan Lerner is his name. I'm after these aren't the guy who told them this. And I don't know how they convinced them. They probably of, hey, we're probably not gonna find who you're looking for. This is your best shot, man. You better take this. Yeah. Trials or guilt or innocence rarely occur. Many people never even meet with an attorney. Witnesses are routinely paid and coerced by the government. Police regularly stop and search people for no reason whatsoever. Penalties for many crimes are so severe that innocent people plead guilty, accepting plea bargain sentences. Most people take a plea bargain, not because they committed a crime. They just want to go home, and this is the fastest way they can get home. They can't afford an attorney. They can't convince their people or reach their people out in the world to go and get an attorney that's going to represent them wholeheartedly and do their damnedest to get them free. Nobody want to sit down for 2 and 3 years, man. Y'all remember the Kalief Browder story? And if you haven't seen that, you need to go and look at the Kalief Browder story on Netflix, man. This is one young man that represents what's going on the inside of jails all over the United States. The country that's supposed to be the freest or the leader of the free world has incarcerated and enslaved legally through law more people than any other country. As a matter of fact, I believe more than the other top 2 or 3 countries combined. Come on, man. Stop believing everything you hear. America don't like a lot of people don't like to be accountable for stuff that they do wrong. And America is one of those entities. Their black eye is slavery in the way that they treat black and brown people. And until they address it, they have never progressed. It'll continue to crumble until you start addressing people equally and with the same respect and concern and love that you want to receive. Man, ain't nothing good gonna come to you. Penalties for many crimes are so severe that innocent people plead guilty, accepting plea bargains to avoid harsh mandatory sentences. And children, even as young as 14, are sent to adult prisons. They will make them wait till they 18, sentence them like they was grown, and send them to an adult prison. Now, you telling me that ain't a violation? Man, most people don't really know what the world is like until they on their own. And most people don't get on their own until after they 21, 22-ish, sometimes 25. I feel that these people should be lenient. If you got sentenced, if you were arrested and sentenced or having any type of criminal activity going on that was being you were being punished for before you was 21, and you got 5, 10 or more years in, you deserve some leniency. You deserve an opportunity to get out here, be the adult that you are, to apply yourself, adapt to what's going on, and add on to the positivity within the world. Y'all not giving nobody this chance. Very few people make the parole board, and the parole board make the decision before they ever see you. They just go through the haps of making it look like they wanted to hear what you had to say. They will bring up stuff. I went to the board the second time I went to prison. I went to the board and they were asking me about what I did the first time I came to prison. I'm not here for that. That's done and over with. I did that, served the time for the plea bargain that I was coerced to take. We ain't got to talk about that. I got a brother did 22 joints, man. 22. I'm talking about as we speak, he's still in prison. Man, if y'all don't let that man go, let that man go. He gave you all that he was supposed to and then some. He been out of trouble. He done become a remarkable adult. Give that man his opportunity, man, to get out here, man, and spend time and create memories with his family. And not just him. All the other brothers and sisters, man, that's in there, man, that's been overly punished. You go to prison for punishment, and while you're there, every day you're being punished by the rude ass motherfucking COs and even some of the civilians. Come on, man. You got cops messing with your food, cops, you know what I mean, jumping on you at whenever they feel like it. I mean, man, it's real serious, man. Check on your people if you got people locked up. Let's read a couple more paragraphs and y'all get on y'all day, man. I just wanted to give y'all a little boost. You know what I mean? Rules of law and procedure such as guilt beyond a reasonable doubt or probable cause or reasonable suspicion can easily be found. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss a page. In court cases and law school textbooks, but are much harder to find in real life. In this chapter, we shall see how the system of mass incarceration actually works. Our focus is the war on drugs. The reason is simple. Convictions for drug offenses are the single most important cause of the explosion in incarceration rates in the United States. Drug offenses alone account for 2/3 of the rise in the federal inmate population and more than 1/2 of the rise in state prisoners between 1985 and 2000. Approximately 500,000 people are in prison or jail for a drug offense today, compared to an estimated 41,100 in 1980, an increase of 1,100%. Drug arrests have tripled since 1980. As a result, more than 31 million people have been arrested for 31 million people have been arrested for drug offenses since the drug war began. Now, remember, she did all of this research and published this book when? This is 2010. Here it is a decade later. So just imagine what that number has grown to. To put the matter in perspective, consider this. There are more people in prison and jails today just for drug offenses than were incarcerated for all reasons in 1980. Nothing has contributed more to the systematic mass incarceration of people of color in the United States than the war on drugs. Before we begin our tour of the drug war, it is worthwhile to get a couple of myths out the way. The first is that the war is aimed at riddling the nation of drug kingpins or big-time dealers. Nothing could be further from the truth. The vast majority are charged with serious offenses. In 2005, for example, 4 out of 5 drug arrests were for possession, and only 1 out of 5 was for sales. Moreover, most people in state prison for drug offenses have no history of violence or significant selling activity. The second myth is that the drug war is principally concerned with dangerous drugs. Quite to the contrary, arrests for marijuana possession, a drug less harmful than tobacco or alcohol, accounted for nearly 80% of the growth in the drug arrests in the 90s, despite the fact that most drug arrests are for nonviolent minor offenses. The war on drugs has ushered in an era of unprecedented punitiveness. And y'all see they about to invest $200 million in this. Yo, don't smoke none of that weed that the government making, man. That shit ain't for you. It is not for you. You don't know what the fuck they're gonna put in that shit. I suggest that you take your ass to Jamaica. I suggest you take your ass to anywhere in the Caribbean or to fucking Mexico and go get some real motherfucking marijuana. Don't use this motherfucker mechanically fucked up shit that they giving you that's gonna attack your organs. Yeah, trust me, that's the fuck what they doing. I promise you that. You ain't gotta believe me. Go research it on yourself. Do a little bit of research yourself. Stop waiting for people to do it for you. Stop sitting on your ass, man, just thinking shit gonna come to you. You want something, you better go get it. That's what it is, period. The percentage of drug arrests that result in prison sentences rather than dismissal, community service, or probation has quadrupled. They don't give out dismissals, community service like they used to. And they should, because 90% of the arrests, man, they ain't even worth it, man. They ain't even worth it at all, man. That's quadrupled, resulting in a prison building boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. In 2 short decades, between 1980 and 2000, the number of people incarcerated in our nation's prisons and jails soared roughly from 300,000 to more than 2 million. By the end of 2000, more than 7 million Americans, or 1 in every 31 adults, were behind bars or on probation or on parole. Did y'all see what that said, man? 7 million Americans by 2007. That was 12 years ago. I put money on it. It's about 12 to 15 million right now on parole, probation, or in prison, right here in the United States. We begin our exploration of the drug war at the point of entry, arrest by the police, and then consider how the system of mass incarceration is structured to reward mass drug arrests and facilitate the conviction and imprisonment of an unprecedented number of Americans, whether guilty or innocent. In subsequent chapters, we will consider how the system specifically targets people of color and then relegates them to a second-class status analogous to Jim Crow. ANALOGOUS. Tell me what it is, what it means. At this point, we simply take stock of the means by which the war on drugs facilitates the roundup and lockdown of an extraordinary percentage of the U.S. population. So when I come back, I'm going to talk about rules of the game, unreasonable suspicion, just say no. That alarm there means it's time to get up and go. Got some things to do today. But man, stay positive, stay focused, keep pushing forward, man. And in order to get a new result, you got to do a new thing, man. Stop making excuses, man. It's time to start creating and providing solutions. That's what it is all 2019. If you with me, where you at? Nah, I'm chilling though. But have a great day. Pretty Tony forever. Free Sean, free Slick. Man, free the peoples, man. Free the peoples. Have a wonderful day. February's been great. Tomorrow is the start of March, and we're going to continue. You know what I mean? I started this Readers are Leaders campaign because I think this is way more interesting than anything you put on the TV, because number one, it's fact. Number two, I'm talking about what the problem is right now. Mass incarceration is definitely the number one problem for the Black, not even just for the Black community, for the underprivileged community, because it's not just Black people that's being locked up. All people that are poor and underprivileged are being attacked and used as commodity, man. That's what this whole prison thing is about, man. We could do so much more, man. We could do so much more, but it's gonna take us to stay together, stick together, and persevere. You know what I mean? As one. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So all people that are underprivileged or live in dilapidated housing or just, didn't come from that silver spoon lifestyle, man, we need to be building and embracing each other in arms, man, to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, we all got our own personal responsibilities and aspirations. And don't let nothing get in your way of accomplishing that. With that being said, I hope your today is great and your tomorrow is greater. If you get a moment, man, read to somebody today. Do something nice from the bottom of your heart for no reason, not for anything in return, just to add positivity to the cipher. Peace. Love is love.